We're just slowly easing
I
into
didn't know
everything.
Aaron suddenly got into classical music all of a sudden.
It's the what's that movie called? No, well,
The
it's
Pianist.
Kanye. It's a Kanye song, but they did a preview for the Westworld or whatever it
Ah,
was, and so it's for Westworld.
thought you were all on Yellowstone.
Oh yeah, but I'm just pulled this up. That's it.
Okay.
There was
Yeah, you're a
some.
big yellow. You and Tony are big Yellowstone guys.
Listen, Yellowstone is like the shit.
Yeah, he's
All
probably
right,
watching Yellowstone right now.
Yellow. No, it's on a hiatus right now. The
Oh,
mid-season
it's on
finale.
hiatus. Okay.
I'll be honest with you. The this season's been good. There's a couple characters I'm kind of like, oh, this is great storytelling, and then there's some points to it where I'm like, yeah, it's
Wait,
kind of.
so what you're saying is kind of getting hit or miss.
You know what? I always look at like everything always has about when you look at like good shows. I think television in general will have like three good seasons, five at the max. After five, that's it. Like you got to
It gets
wrap up
difficult.
stories and all
It
that
gets
kind of stuff. So
difficult.
like The Wire, for example, 5 seasons. Um,
Yeah, I agree. I agree
Breaking
with that
Bad,
show.
5 seasons, right?
Yeah.
So you end these shows off on a high note. You're able to wrap these characters up, and you have the storylines all kind of work making sense. Because if you start going too far, like Game of Thrones, for example, like eight seasons, it just goes. The stories are great, but then they whittle out, and it's just like character development sucks, and
Drives
it's just
on.
like
Who's your favorite character in The Wire, and why is it Stringer Bell?
oh, Stringer is so good. Idris
Stringer.
Elba, oh my
Yeah,
god,
that's
he's
that's how the
so
world became to know him.
it
Know him.
was such he's such a good character, right? I mean, and then you even look at like Breaking Bad for another example. Walter White's wow, Walter White's
Walter White.
character was a
Jeez.
phenomenal. Fuck, like even Aaron Paul's character was great. Jesse, like that, the writing in that was so good. I didn't really get into Better Call Saul, to be honest with you. I didn't get into that too
No,
much. I watched
no. You're
that.
you're you're a big TV shows guy. I
I,
think I'm.
I like my shows,
You like your
right?
shows. You like your Yellowstone. You and
This is why
Tony.
I'm up till like midnight sometimes, and
Yeah.
getting 4 hours worth of sleep and not doing what I'm supposed to be doing, like
Yeah, pretty
sleeping and
much.
recovery and all that kind of jazz.
Sleeper car. You know all those things that you preach at Kinetic PRF. Is that correct?
Yeah, and you know what? And as we begin this podcast, especially into the beginning of the new year, welcome back, everybody. We hope you had a great holiday, as Mike and I also had a really good holiday. But yeah, we're getting back into January, where everybody's looking forward to their goals and they're getting towards a new them and new me, whatever, right? And
New year, new me, all that crap. You
you know
know.
what? And I commend every single one of you, especially if you're trying to reach those goals and you're trying to be a better self. And again, it's all about consistency. And we're going to chat about that a lot today on the podcast. And there'll be some hard truths that Mike and I are going to speak about today. And you know what? Some people might be offended. Some people may not agree with us, and that's totally
Listen,
fine.
Aaron, I have no idea what the hell we're going to talk about. So
No,
I don't know
I
what
have,
you're even
you know
getting
what?
into
And
right now.
I was thinking about this today when we were kind of going
This is a
into it, and I
blank
was like,
slate today. I
there,
ain't got
there,
shit to talk about.
there's stuff we're gonna talk about. I'm
Oh,
gonna ask
okay.
some questions, and you know what? We're gonna talk about those opinions based on that. And you know what? If you get offended, that's fine. You know what? Because this is the new Aaron. Okay. You know why?
This is
I
the
don't care. Like I don't care. This is
new
a new
year, new
me.
Aaron. So what
I
you're saying is you're here to trigger the libs?
I'm not here to trigger anybody. I'm literally just here to state, just talk. I'm just here to talk. I'm just here to talk. That's it. That's it. So I want to talk about a couple different things, but as we're on the topic of obviously fitness or just in general, like people getting back into routines, right? Mike, what's the most important thing you kind of tell obviously a new individual looking, whether it's their new goal that they're going for, a weight loss goal, a new fitness routine, or just them just getting started? What's the first thing you kind of mentioned to those people?
Honestly, I think the first thing I can mention to anybody who's looking to make changes, if it's to their physical well-being, mental well-being, whatever the case may be, in all seriousness, is if you just show up, you're already doing better, I think, than like most people. So just like hey, it's January, you're like, I want to start going to the gym. I want to start Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Best advice I can give you, just show up.
Yeah,
Simple as that. Don't even
100%.
don't even overthink it. Just go there, do something. And I would say the other piece of advice I can give you is just something fun. Because if you're not having fun, then like, what are you doing? Show up, have fun, and the rest of things will slowly but surely fall into line over time.
Yeah, you know what? A mediocre workout is better than anything that you're probably doing on the couch. Just even if you think it's not a good workout, just get out there and do it, right? You're getting yourself moving, you're being able to do something. That's an improvement of doing nothing. And I would agree with that 100%. And I would look at the biggest thing when we look at as the gyms are going to be busier, the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu clubs are going to be busier, whatever. Don't worry about Instagram. Don't worry about Facebook. Don't worry about putting yourself on that. Nobody cares, right? The big thing for
I
you
care, Aaron.
is
I
just
care.
get the work in. You don't have to display your squat every single set. You don't have to display you want to preach your curl doing fucking arms all day. Nobody cares. Just get on with
Whoa.
your lifts.
You're throwing shade at me, man. On the preacher curl. Jeez. Who else could you be talking about here?
That's what I'm saying. Like just get in, do your work, get out. That's the point. If you're
I feel
there
like
for
this message
three
is directed
hours,
at a certain individual that
no, it's
you
not
may have
directed
some
at
disdain
anybody.
for.
It's just saying, let's just get after it. Just go do your thing. You know, continue on with your day. Don't worry about the edits on your Instagram. Just go after it. Go attack the day with what you need to get done. Get out, accomplish the next goal. That's all I'm saying.
No, I think that's fair. You just go in, do it, show up, have fun. This is the best advice I can give people for people who may have New Year's resolutions. To those who don't have New Year's resolutions, or just maybe down the line, maybe not in January, maybe in April they want to make changes, and that could be April, May, June, whatever the month may be. It's like just start, and the easiest thing to do is just show up, and everything will figure itself out. So
Yeah,
this is what me and Aaron do. We just show up and we fucking wing it. It's just like this podcast that we're doing right now.
Yeah,
We just
you know
showed
what?
up. And
Even
we're
though it's
like,
we were supposed to have a guest. Unfortunately, the guest fell through, so it's no big deal, right? But we're going to work with what we have, right? We are very knowledgeable individuals in two different industries, especially in the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu community,
what
in
do we
health and
have, Aaron?
fitness.
Here, what do we have? Let's get philosophical.
Okay, what do you mean? What do we have?
What do we have here, Aaron? What do we have?
We have a community of individuals looking just to improve themselves, but also we talk about all the different things of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, life and fitness, life, politics that doesn't really make sense. So we make fun of that. Just bullshit
Just
sometimes.
bullshit. I think we should
Yeah.
makes fun of some bullshit. I think that's what we should do.
Yeah. I mean, there's tons of stuff we can talk about, but
There's lots of stuff, Aaron.
so
What's on your
Mike,
mind? What's on
actually,
your mind?
I want to ask you about you.
Okay.
So, obviously, you had the Grappling Arts Academy opened up this week. That was awesome.
Yes, we did.
Congratulations. That's exciting.
1578 Finfar Court, Mississauga, Ontario.
Perfect. So, let me ask you this. Obviously, getting
Yes.
new students into your club. So, the key thing for you as getting new members into your club is to absolutely demoralize those people and just make sure you smash them so they understand what Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is.
Yes,
correct?
I have to assert dominance on everybody who comes into
okay.
the gym. That's correct. So
Perfect,
like
okay.
I am so either it's that, or I'm like a dog. I just start peeing on the mats. Like whatever comes first. So like I need to mark my territory. Somebody comes in, I need to sniff them. I need to make sure they're a part of my pack and my tribe. And then I initiate them.
Yeah. Okay. So that's the way to lose money or gain money, or
It's definitely a way to lose money. Especially if I start urinating on the mats in front of everybody. That's probably not a good idea if you're opening a business, is just urinating in front of everybody. But all seriousness, people that are looking to, they're looking to start something new. January is that time, like New Year's resolutions. We just opened a brand new facility. Myself and my partner Tony Isaacs. And the big thing is we have some old faces. We also have some new faces that are coming in that have found us either online through marketing and advertising or word of mouth. That are like, hey, you know what? I want to give this Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu thing a try. And, my last advice applies to them as well. It's like, just show up. Honestly, I think the hardest thing to do for people is like, there's people that are interested in jiu-jitsu. And I think a lot of times you probably encounter people probably in the course of your jiu-jitsu journey, probably over like the last like 100 years that you've been doing jiu-jitsu, where they're like, yeah, man, I totally want to try this jiu-jitsu thing out. Where do you train? And then you tell them where they train. You're like, yeah, man, I'm going to be there tomorrow. And then they'll never, ever show up. The hardest thing, honestly, is just show up. And that's anybody who's listening to this, who's trying something new and you're showing up, you're doing better than 99% of the people out there. And you're a lot braver than anybody who's who thinks like, oh, I could do that or I could do this. It's like, by showing up is the best thing you can do to put you on that path to success, whether it's jiu-jitsu, working out, changing yourself physically. That's what we do. This is what we do, Aaron. This is what we do.
Yeah, you know what? I think that's like everybody, right? That first initial step is a key, crucial thing where, again, I've met people who have gone to fitness consultation appointments basically and sat in their car for 20 minutes debating if they even want to come into the building, right? Yep. So this is a real conflict, especially for an individual self-confidence. They're looking at, okay, do I want to make this change? Am I ready to make this change? Am I just going to fail again? Right.
Looking at like in their shoes, it's fucking terrifying.
Oh,
like,
absolutely.
You really think about it. Like let's rewind a bit just for both of us. Like, what got you? I don't know if I ever asked you, like, what got you into jiu-jitsu? Like, you're like your first day. Like, what were you thinking? If you could think back like 50 years ago that you did a trial, you're like, what is this jiu-jitsu stuff? Like, how did you find this thing? And then like your first day, do you even have any memories of that?
Yeah, no, I mean, the actual like reason, okay, why do I want to try it? I can't really recall it, be honest with you. I mean, I had done karate before, done boxing before, but then when it was my buddy, Jason Gaynard, we worked together at a place called Part Source, which is like an automotive parts store. And I had watched like
parts stores.
Yeah, no, I was a manager for them at one point, many years ago. But anyways, like short story long, I guess, was
short story long.
Yeah.
We gotta fill some time here, Aaron.
Yeah, exactly. We're filling the time gap.
Short story long.
But what it was is I think I was watching UFC. Obviously, I think I was around where I've seen the original UFC back in like 92, 93 when I was still doing karate, and we learned a little bit of grappling through our instructor at the time. And again, me and my friends always wrestled. So we did some wrestling in high school. So that was there. But then obviously when I went away to college, or like when I kind of got into auto mechanics and engineering, that's where I kind of like never really thought about it. But then when kind of like UFC started coming back around with the Forrest Griffin, the Ultimate Fighter, and then George St. Pierre was the prominent name I kept hearing about, where I was like, oh, okay, I want to try this out. And so there was a place that he went to, then he was like, okay, you have to come try this. And I ended up going to that club, tried it, got my shit absolutely kicked. And I was like, I love it. I want to do it. Because I was always into sports, right? But it was because I got like so like humbled. I was like, okay, this is something I need to do. Mind you, I was a smoker. I used to drink. I used to do a bunch of stuff at the time. Almost died, like basically being beat red. I'm already red enough in my hair, but yeah, it was like beat red, like gonna like, if I wasn't gonna have a heart attack, I was gonna die because somebody beat the shit out of me. So it was like, I was like very humbled, and I was like, okay, I need to do this. Right. I think I
need to learn this.
Yeah. And what year was that? I keep always forgetting where it's like 2007, 2006. I don't remember. Right. I think that's what it was.
Somewhere in that range. So I have a similar story actually. So like it was, what was it, first year university or second year university? It was like second year university. So I went to York University. I was studying kinesiology at the time. I've heard of the UFC. I watched a little bit. I even watched a little bit of it before, because my brother watched the UFC at the time, like in the early 2000s. So like I was, 13, 14-year-old kid. So I'd seen some MMA like here and there. And then there was the actual, like the Ultimate Fighter, which just blew it up right into the mainstream, like you were mentioning, with like, Stephan Bonner and Forrest Griffin. So rest in peace to Stephan Bonner. Unfortunately passed away not too long ago.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Anyways, so I was in a class, I was in like a lecture, and then there was a friend of mine I was talking to. It was like a casual like acquaintance, and he was like, oh, there's like this club starting up. And I'm like, he's like, are you interested? I'm like, what is it? He's like, it's like a submission wrestling club. And I was like, oh, like, okay, like I've watched. He's like, you watched like MMA and stuff before? I was like, yeah, I watched it a little bit. And then he's like, well, why don't you like come to a class? It's like, it's like Monday, Wednesday, Friday at this time. And I'm like, it was like 6 or 7 at night. And I was like, okay, yeah, cool. I'll check it out. I don't have any classes super late. So maybe I'll come do it like once or twice a week, or I'll come check it out. And then I came to my first class. It was immediately I was hooked. So I don't know. Didn't get my ass kicked that badly. I mean, I did, like everybody does, but I was in a class with like mainly beginners. So it's like, if I was myself, who's like 190, 195 pounds at the time, I do what I normally do now is I pick the littlest guy in the room and I hide in the corner. So that's basically what I did day one. That's a joke, Aaron. That's a joke. I went, I got my ass kicked, similar to you, like on your first day. And I was like, this stuff is really interesting. I felt like showing up. I don't know if I was nervous at the time, but it was just, I don't know if it was nervous, excited, but something was drawing me to it. And I can't explain what it was. There was like a magnet being like, hey, you should go check this out. It was in the back of my mind. You might like it. I couldn't explain it. I probably still can't explain it now, but here I am, a new black belt as of a few months ago, 13 years later practicing. So, yeah, no, my experience was probably just like anybody who's going to be starting something new this year. Probably a little terrifying, probably a little nerve wracking, but something that was a hell of a lot of fun that, 13 years later, I'm still practicing.
Yeah. It's interesting too, because like, obviously with so many new people starting this month, you're always getting your new students trying things out and they're going, okay, oh, I love this. I want to become a blue belt, right? Or they got new goals and they're like, okay, I'm going to do this forever. Right. And again, I always like to remind guys, and I'm like, listen, this stuff's a grind. It is a grind to learn. It's a grind to continue. And we were having this conversation where we're like, okay, you know what? Like, let's say the average person trains 2 to 3 days a week, right? Yeah. Which is kind of average, like hobbyist practitioner, kind of 2 to 3 days a week, right? And let's just say, you progress really well, right? And let's say you're striping and you're going to your gradings and you're progressing really well. And I say every 6 months you have a grading, right? So 4 stripes. So it's 2 years to get your blue belt, right? That's 2 years is a long time, right? Like it is a long time to do that one particular sport, stay at a belt, keep motivated, do all this other shit called life in between, right? Your training, plus your job, plus your family, and all this other stuff. It is a grind. It is a mental grind. And that's why people, again, some people do quit and they come back. They quit. They have to take breaks. They come back. They don't necessarily quit. Sorry, they take a break. But the idea is, okay, if you teach that young, where it's like, okay, hey man, this is a grind. It's going to take a while. That's why you hear stories about, oh, it took me 10 years to get my black belt. It took me 15 years to get my black belt. Shit happens, right? But the nice thing is, I'll steal a quote from one of my professors. He's like, he's never met somebody who got rid of jiu-jitsu in their life and it's so much better, right? There's, oh, my life is so amazing now that I quit jiu-jitsu, right? So
I felt that for a while, like back in the day. It was like, there was 1 year I quit and I was like, just fuck this shit, I'm done. And I actually felt good about it for a while. And then
but then you come back. It comes back though. That is, as much as you're like, you feel good about it then, and then you think about it, you're like, oh, I should have stuck it out, right? What if I go back, right? Like, so as much as you're saying that right now, I've never met anybody been like, yeah, I quit and I'm fuck that shit. I hated it. Hated every second of it. I'm never going back. I've never met somebody like that though, right? I bet people say they never really got started and they didn't like it. That's different, right? I don't put them in the same category of like training jiu-jitsu, getting to blue belt and being like, oh, I hated that. I didn't want to do it anymore.
It's a fuck this shit. I'm out.
You know what I mean? Like you got people who quit because of their girlfriends or wives. Business, whatever.
Why do you think are the number one main reasons people quit jiu-jitsu, in your opinion? From what you've seen over the years, and even maybe from your own experience, because you've had some long layoffs as well. I wouldn't say I
had a layoff for almost
quit training
two
at
years,
all.
Yeah. Right. I'm not, but I was like training well, like once a month, right? Spending the premium membership, right? That was awesome. Like $150
Because you
for
want to be
one class.
loyal, Aaron. You don't want to be a creonch.
No, but yeah, it is what it is. But I don't think about
Sorry,
it
go
much
on, go on.
anymore.
What do you think are the main reasons why you think people either quit jujitsu
Eh,
or maybe they stop working out, or like what are the things that
I think
you have you seen
really
over the years?
time, lack of motivation, lack of planning, right? I think it's like, and I don't ever think it's a lack of self-respect for themselves. Nobody wakes up in the morning and says, I feel like a piece of shit. I'm going to be a piece of shit forever, right? Like nobody says that, right? They're okay. How
Whoa,
do I?
hey! That's my internal talk when I woke up this morning, man. You read
Right?
me
Like
so well.
I think it just there's compounding effects where it's like, okay, I'm too busy to do this. I don't have the time. Again, you fall in these traps, and it's like you put other priorities in place, right? So, I want to have a social life. I want to do this, right? If you train 5 days a week and have a girlfriend who stays at home every night, it's not going to go well for that relationship. I don't care who you are, right? So it's what you want and how do you build off that, right? You might have a really understanding girlfriend. I don't know. Like, so I'm not going to put everybody in that same category, right? But I've never met anybody who trains 6 days a week, where it's not their job. Sorry. So let me rephrase this, right? So I'm not talking about instructors. I'm talking about people,
Just
practitioners, right?
average Joe
The
showing up to
average
class, or
Joe
Jane,
who
average
trains
boy or girl showing up to
who
class.
trains 3-4 hours a day, 5-6 days a week, has a prominent girlfriend or boyfriend, whatever, constantly, right? And they have a full-time job doing something else too, right? Because there's only so much time in a day. So that's my opinion. I'm not, again, I've met people like that. I'm not saying that's everybody. And if you've been able to do that and have an amazing time doing it, awesome. Congratulations. It's very difficult to maintain that relationship, I would believe.
I think the biggest thing that maybe turns people off from jujitsu, and I think the number one reason I've seen is maybe injuries,
Yeah.
or just people just get too banged up. So it's either where they're training with people maybe they shouldn't be training with, that are they can't really control themselves and they hurt themselves, or
Well,
somebody's
yeah,
just
especially when
really
guys get
just
older.
yeah, or people are just like, you take a 49-year-old hobbyist and put them with a 21-year-old, ultra heavyweight competitor who just doesn't know how to control themselves entirely. Like, things are going to happen. Versus, or I think it's probably one of the main ones I've seen. Or it's just they just keep getting beat up and smashed, and they're just like, I don't like this. I'm
Yeah.
getting wrecked. I think it's a big one. And another one you mentioned is just life in general. Like, some people are like, they're in a routine, and I've seen this a lot with like clients and people that have trained over the years. It's they're in a routine, something happens in their life, whether it's like, you know, relationship changes, they get a girlfriend or a boyfriend, maybe they start traveling for work, and
Mhm.
they get out of their routine and they're not able to get back into it for
Yeah.
some reason,
100%.
where it's like they maybe intend like, hey, I'm going to go back to jiu-jitsu, or I'm going to go back to the gym, like, oh, like I'm traveling for work for a month, and then once I'm done, I'm going to go back, and then they don't go back. And maybe there's some sort of mental block with that, where once they're out of the routine, it's harder to get back into it. Those, I'd say, are the two main ones. I think people in general, like, they know, hey, exercise is healthy. I want to go to the gym. Like, jujitsu. A lot of people are like, hey, man, jujitsu is fun. It's just they have other priorities. What you mentioned, they're like, hey, I want to try to go back, and they just can't quite go back.
Yeah. Actually, so while we're kind of talking about like on the injury standpoint, right? And we look at like, injuries happen, you still want to train, and there's things that you can do, can't do, all that kind of jazz. But I heard this on another podcast, and I'll be completely honest with you. I heard the clip of it. I didn't listen to the whole thing. So if you don't like what I'm
I'm
about to
listening.
say, go fuck yourself.
I'm hearing
Right.
hearsay here, Aaron.
So, and I want to know your opinion on flow rolling, right? So does flow rolling actually really exist? And I'll give you one example of maybe where it might exist, and then the rest of it is all folly, right? The
Go ahead.
only time,
I feel like you have your own opinion on this, but go on.
so flow rolling exists with only one type of person, and it involves two people who are both injured, and they're both older individuals and have some sense of like what their bodies can do, right? They are both injured. They can't do anything. So basically, they just flow to what they can do. Anything else after that, one person is always going to go harder than the other person. And it will always turn into a fucking roll session because
basically like you always try to do with me. It's like you just start going harder,
but
and I just got to pick it up. That's all it is.
But again, it
I
comes
start
into
at
the
10,
whole concept
you start at
of
90,
you
and I'm
try
like,
to
okay, I guess
create
we're
a
going.
flow, and then one person wants to go harder, and so what's the fucking point? There's no fucking point to flow rolling. Don't call it flow rolling. It's
So what
just
you're
rolling.
saying is you only have one gear, Aaron. You go from 0 to 100. You just don't give a
it's
fuck.
not. I do have a slow gear, right? But
No, you
again,
don't.
yes, I do. Everybody has this, okay? But if you're injured, fine. You guys are not going to do anything.
You have your 0% gear and you have your 100% gear. That's what you have.
Listen, there's no fucking thing as flow rolling. That's the reality. One asshole training partner, they both you become assholes and you don't flow at all. That's not how it works.
Aaron, this is what you need to do. In order for you to flow roll, your ego, your little fragile ego that you have.
But that's a problem. Because again, even when you
You
start
need
to flow,
take your fragile little ego.
Some asshole will go, okay, I'm flowing. Okay, I'm going to pass the guard. And the dipshit will not let you pass the guard because you're supposed to be flowing. So what happens? So automatically, so you're blaming me. Sure, you're going to blame the person who's trying to flow, but now they never flow because hey, I'm supposed to. It sounds like
you try to roll with me all the fucking time.
Because then you're like, oh, I can never have my guard passed ever. So you're not even flow rolling. Fuck you. You can't pass my guard. So then all of a sudden, now what happens? That other individual has to pick up the pace to try to pass the guard.
Aaron, if it'll make you feel better, I'll let you pass my guard the next time.
I'm not saying that, but let's be real. Flow rolling doesn't fucking exist. Okay, it doesn't. So I've said my piece. That's it. I'm done.
Okay, so
you can have your opinion.
Does exist if you take your little fragile ego and put it aside a little bit. You know, like this is what you gotta put yourself sometimes in some bad positions.
I agree, Michael.
And you work your way out. Number one, number two, like. I get it. Like I've been in, you know, like as a blue belt and a purple belt coming up, I've had that same experience where I'm like, you know, you got to win every round. You got to make sure you're everybody who you train with, you got to make sure you're winning. Where now and you have to have the mindset shift of you are training to work on different aspects of your game. And also flow rolling will work with certain people. There's certain people that are very tense and they don't have, I guess, like different gears in the car, if you know what I mean. It's going to be very difficult to flow and move around. Yeah,
injured people. It works with injured people.
It can also work with non-injured people too, Aaron.
No, I don't believe
where you can flow and move around. Now, with that said, there's different gears to this. You can go, like, I like to think I have different gears. I have I try to match people's intensity, so to speak. So like if I'm training with somebody, I'm starting at a lower intensity. If they're going to start at a higher intensity, I'm going to try to go at least equal to that. Where if somebody's coming at me 90, 100%, and I'm at 20, I need to match your intensity a little bit for a couple of reasons. Number one, I don't want to get hurt because if some bull in a China shop named Aaron Gall is trying to pass my guard because he doesn't believe flow rolling is real.
I need to at least slow down. That's the thing. I think this is probably a you and me problem rather than maybe other people's problem. But that's the thing. Like, as much as I want to say,
if I was allowed to train with you still, Aaron, I could come over and show you how to flow roll. But unfortunately, I'm not able to.
You just can't come to a certain location, right? But you can come to my location.
Your location.
Or I can go to your location. So
what is your location? Have you even advertised yet?
No, you know what? It's actually not a bad thing.
It's not a bad thing. You don't want people to show up at your place. Hey, come on over.
I just restocked my coffee, so I don't need everybody coming.
Oh, beautiful! I'll be there tomorrow. If that's the case.
No, I'm busy tomorrow. Can't come tomorrow.
Can't come tomorrow. Get away from me.
Yeah, exactly. No, I have a bunch of meetings, as they say. Bunch of meetings.
No, all good though. But in all seriousness, though, there is different intensities that we can train at. Maybe if I'm allowed to train with you, if I get some permission, we can set something up and we can have a nice little flow rolling session.
You can come to my training place, and then
I react, you react, I react, you react. That's jujitsu right there.
You have to flow in my spot, or else you're gonna fucking end up on a squat rack and bust your head open. Right. I'm not taking you to the hospital.
Yeah, you are. You have to. I'm gonna sue.
Nope. We'll roll you through the back, and we'll be like, I don't. Mike Pryor doesn't never hear. Scrape the cameras. We're good.
It's all right. It's all right. You can come to my place, Grappling Arts Academy, located at 1578 Finfar Court. They're now sponsoring this podcast, and I have insurance, Aaron. So don't you worry.
Perfect. That's good. Insurance is good for new students and old students as well.
Yeah, I'm gonna 180 this podcast for a second. What are your thoughts on Andrew Tate getting arrested in Romania? I'm just throwing that out there.
No, Jesus.
Let's go 180.
Let's ring it around.
Forget all this jiu-jitsu shit. Let's talk about the fun stuff.
I thought it was okay. So
what are your thoughts on Andrew Tate getting arrested in Romania? Go ahead.
It was interesting, that's for sure. So I will say the whole the whole tweets between Greta Thunberg and him was hilarious, right? So after he got arrested and he had the pizza boxes or whatever, and that's what she writes back. That's what you get for not recycling your pizza boxes. Was hilarious. So it's like
which is hilarious. That was
it's one of the most liked tweets in like all of Twitter, apparently.
History of Twitter.
Or it's like the third most liked or something like that.
She won the internet that day, as the
basically,
kids say.
Yeah. So I'll give her high five props on that. So 100%. I mean, the whole concept of it, and again, to what I know, is very interesting, right? The only thing is like, let me straight up here. If he actually committed these crimes that they're saying he did, fuck him, right? 100%.
Yep, I agree.
I'm not even gonna like baby glove this whole thing. If this is what he's being accused, if he actually did what he's being accused of,
if he is convicted of what they're accusing him of doing, fuck 100%. That guy. He's a piece of shit. He should be in jail and rotting there the rest of his life.
Exactly. So I'm not even going to think twice about that.
Fuck that guy.
Fuck that guy. Let's never speak of him again, because the more we speak about him, the more power we're giving him. Right. I find it convenient, though.
Bruno doesn't approve of Andrew Tate.
Bruno does not approve. Right. Yeah. I find it convenient, though.
It was toxic.
Like a couple of days before, he goes on a podcast and says, "Oh, when I get arrested, it's going to be because of this. The Matrix is coming after me. Just beware that when I'm arrested, this is what they're going to say." And then he's arrested because of these things. So I'm like,
now, do you believe in that whole conspiracy thing that there's two things, like, they're quote unquote out to get the man, or did he probably know that he's being heavily investigated? And he probably has some, let's be honest, he probably has some fucking dirt on him. He's probably doing
100%. Is he 100% clean? No, he's not.
Hell no. So here's the thing, like, you don't have the equivalent of like the USA SWAT team showing up unless you did something, or you're being accused of something really, really bad. Well, so you don't garner like, 20 SWAT officers knocking on your door if you didn't pay your speeding ticket, for example, which I may or may not have gotten in New York State, but that's another tidbit we could talk about after this, but go on.
Exactly. But you make a good point, right? Like they don't just send people after you because you said something on the internet, right? There has to be substantiated evidence around it. They
controversial
have to
or not.
Because the state can be sued for that. Right, the state of Romania, whatever you will call, I don't know what they call it. Right,
state of Romania, the country of Romania.
But I'm just saying, I'm just using the state as like the government office, right?
Yeah.
That's they can be sued for, again, wrongful arrest, defamatory, everything. Like all these things come into play, right? So they're not just going to throw charges out there that don't have some form of evidence around them, right?
Yeah,
mind you, shit happens. It's a different country. We don't know, right? But something's got to be viable. So that's my only thing. So like, maybe they're not getting him on like all the charges, but they're going to get him on something.
Something's up. So
he's not just getting, is he out of prison yet?
I think he's still in prison.
Out of jail, sorry?
He is. I think he's still there as of the recording of this. Yes.
So, I mean, they're holding him so it's been at least 6 days. right?
As
wanna
the
say it's been-
recording is, yeah.
I want to say it's been at least 6 days, 7 days since they've arrested him. So I mean, like, he's got to do something, right? If he's not getting out right away.
So something's up. But no, that tweet storm was absolutely hilarious. And if it's I'm a fan of, in the law system, innocent until proven guilty.
I would agree. Yeah. I mean,
in North America or anywhere across the world, like, I think if you're accused of something, I think you have the right to, a trial, a fair trial, a legit trial. I hope he gets a fair, legit trial. If he is innocent, if he is found innocent, then that's one issue. Now, if there's mounting evidence that, there's smoke, where there's smoke, there's fire, then yeah, he should be.
When there's smoke,
shouldn't see the light of day ever again, based on the charges that are being laid out to him right now.
Yeah. Now, when you kind of look at, there's also like the debate of like court of public opinion, and then there's also like the law, right?
Yes.
Do you kind of look at it as like people are like backing him up because they believe that the Matrix or whatever is out to get them, right? Or
you're out to get me, man. What do you mean, man?
Like, I think it's a little bit like, fuck. Do I believe that there's the people we see, and then there's people pulling the strings? Maybe I don't see it that. Obviously, there's people of power out there that are way more powerful than you and I will ever be in our life.
Can ever
right?
fucking imagine being. Yes.
Exactly,
yeah,
right?
absolutely. I agree with that.
I agree with that. But do I believe that there's this whole concept of the Matrix and we're in a simulation and all that kind of stuff? I don't even know what he means by the Matrix, to be honest with you. No, I think he's just riding on this whole train of, okay, hey, this is my character, this is my person who I'm going to speak about. They're always against us, they're not against me. Whatever. I don't. It's very hard to follow this guy.
Yeah, he's a little all over the place. But with that said, it's like, I find the irony of this whole situation, just for myself personally, until he got quote unquote canceled. When he got canceled,
yeah,
this is when I actually heard who the fuck this guy was.
Yeah,
I never heard of this guy before in my entire life until he got canceled. Now I go on my YouTube feed and all I see is this guy. I'm like, can I fucking like get something else? Like, I thought this guy was canceled. Like, why is he popping up on my YouTube feed every fucking day?
Yeah,
with like with YouTube shorts. Like, I don't know. I guess he's found the Matrix and he's cracked the system on.
He totally cracked the system.
Yeah, we should contact him to get our fucking
100%
fucking little podcast that we have here mainstream. But geez.
so Mr. Beast actually said, so Mr. Beast, who everybody on YouTube knows, is obviously like has like 200 million subscribers on YouTube, probably one of the biggest YouTube channels out there. So he had cracked the code as far as like what Andrew Tate did. It was like he went on like all these podcasts, right? So all these podcasts that like he just went on a podcast tour, like podcast after podcast after podcast. And there was all these clips, right? So all the short clips were basically just got compacted and just jammed the algorithm as far as YouTube shorts go, YouTube out, well, not Instagram because he wasn't on Instagram, but he just got jammed on everything. And so basically that's what Mr. Beast is doing now, because he's like, I'm just jumping on a bunch of podcasts. I'm just going on everywhere. I'm going to get clipped out, and that's just going to drive the algorithms towards the channels.
And that was probably Andrew Tate's strategy as well, because like everything I see is like him on a podcast somewhere. I'm like, how the fuck is this guy everywhere is what I want to know.
I mean, like he did get traction, and I actually want to talk about this quickly off the Paul brothers, right? Because he was talking about Jake Paul, and then he was talking about Logan Paul, and then because he was trying to challenge, I think, Jake Paul to a boxing match.
There was hype around this a while ago that
so like
this was going to be a potential match in Abu Dhabi.
Yeah,
that's when I first heard a boxing match there. Yes,
so that was what the one I heard about, where it was like, okay, it was going to be Andrew Tate, and that they were trying to get him to take. I'm like, oh yeah, it sounds like he could beat up Jake Paul. I think he's bigger than Jake Paul. I don't know.
Probably a little taller.
Maybe a little taller because he's a
little taller and longer, and they may be relatively the same weight though.
Yeah. And then but that's really where I got it from there. But what I did want to talk about, so now we're seeing Jake Paul has actually signed an official PFL deal with a professional fight league.
Yep.
which and it's a super fight contract. So it's more not jumping into like the normal ranking systems. I think he's going into just kind of like they're picking the actual fighters that he's going to fight. So he's doing boxing and MMA as well.
Yes.
So now
You
they're
want to
trying to
do so basically what it is he wants to fight Nate Diaz.
yeah,
First, he wants to fight Nate Diaz in a boxing
match, and then he wants to do an MMA
and then
match.
6 to 9 months approximately, they'll do an MMA match in the PFL.
Yeah. So that should be interesting. But now I want to know your opinion. So, like, which is the better Paul brother? So, is it Jake Paul or Logan Paul, that piece of fucking shit scumbag, him? And I'll give you my opinion on Logan Paul in a second.
Better in what? Like better at fighting, better
Just
at
in general,
marketing?
who owns the I guess the court of public opinion now?
The court of public opinion. Well, that's always swaying like one way or the other. Jake Paul's really when it comes to fighting, he's opening up a lot of talk about fighters pay. He's really taking he's going really hard on Dana White in the UFC recently. He's slapping up Dana White quite a bit.
That too.
Oh,
We'll talk about that in a minute.
He's slapping Dana White with a lot of fighter pay questions, so to speak. So so in that regard, I kind of agree with. I like to personally, when it comes to people, my opinion of them is based on depending on what the issue is, because I can't just say okay, Andrew Tate's just a full on piece of shit. He's getting there, but there's things of him that he said where I'm like, you know what, maybe that's out of context, but there's some things it's like, hey, wake up, go to the gym, work out, exercise.
He does have some good messaging, right? He does have some good messaging.
But he gets to the whole misogyny, beating women thing.
Oh yeah, no, then he gets a little fucking crazy.
Which and that's another question. Is it real? Is it a character? Even then, is this something that really somebody should be saying? Now we're getting real territorial here, Aaron. We're gonna have to be getting clipped up and going on other people's podcasts, getting canceled, and
but okay, so let me ask you this.
But back to the Jake Paul versus Logan Paul. Logan Paul's done a lot of controversial things anyway. He's had videos in Japan where he's had to apologize on 60 Minutes numerous times.
Yeah, that was that. Well, the latest thing with Jake Paul is obviously over, and I've been heavily involved with this.
Fighter pay is a big.
No, sorry. When I talk about Logan Paul, Logan Paul, where I was going down the rabbit hole on this one, where it was CoffeeZilla released a whole series about Logan Paul, Crypto Zoo, and so basically CoffeeZilla had this 3-part 30-minute YouTube video documentary series. Was fantastic, well done, kind of investigative journalism, really looking into everything. And so but basically how this thing was a fucking scam, right? It was just an NFT scam, and it was just fucking terrible. And so Logan obviously responded with it to this day has been rated by so many people on YouTube saying it's the worst response video you could do possibly, because
possibly ever.
It's absolutely the worst. So which resulted in Logan Paul actually pulling both videos down. Then he's going to release another video now that apologizing and taking accountability because he got caught with his hands fucking down his pants with a fucking text thread basically saying, oh yeah, we're going to scam the market. We're going to buy all of this NFT stuff before any of the founders, any of the new investors will go to buy. And also we're going to jack the price up, and then we're going to get out of the sale before the price drops.
So they're trying to pump and dump it, basically.
It was a rug pull. Yeah. It was 100% a rug pull, right? But he was denying it. Oh no, it wasn't this, it wasn't that. And he's just substantiating evidence more. It's like, go fuck yourself, Logan Paul. Fuck.
Trying to pump and dump these useless NFTs, basically.
And that's the thing. I fucking hate that shit. If you're actually gonna have a product with value, and that's why I don't understand NFTs. I don't understand the ideas of crypto, where it's just at least if I know if I buy an iPhone, okay, I have an iPhone, right? I use my money, I got a product. But they can't take that from me unless it gets stolen by somebody off the street, right? Or I leave it somewhere, I lose it. You can't just shut a computer system off and say, oh yeah, by the way, this product doesn't work anymore.
It's like,
Like,
by the way, you ever watch that South Park episode where they're talking about the pandemic and like NFTs and all that?
oh no,
Butter Future Butters is like basically trying to like swindle everybody into like buying NFTs. It's like, he's like, we're gonna buy all these NFTs, we're gonna buy this, we're gonna buy these tokens. And
I gotta
like
watch that now.
he's like locked up in prison. He's like locked up in a mental institution. And they're like, oh my God, you let him go. And he's just trying to do is have like a timeshare of like selling NFTs to everybody. It's great.
So one last thing I kind of want to talk about where, and I would say it's quite frightening when we look at as we were just talking about Logan Paul, we're talking about Jake Paul, and then obviously we're talking about Andrew Tate. And you know, there's some things they say, and there's some things that they're like kind of push the envelope, and you're like, all right, I can't fucking go on with this, right? And we look at the events of what happened on December 31st with Dana White, right? And obviously, again, a very private thing that happened, but it's not private, it's in the public, right? It was
in the public eye, as most
in the public eye, like you're a public figure, right?
Yeah.
You want to contain it as a private issue, but it's really not, right? And you see what happened, right? And then again, the evidence is there. She hit him, he hit her twice. It happened, plain and simple. I don't care what anybody wants to say if they're like, oh, well, you know, self-defense. Like, shut the fuck up. It wasn't self-defense, right? Okay, she hit him, yes, okay? She didn't have a fucking knife. She didn't have anything, right? She hit him. But there's no reason for him to react the way he did and then say,
okay, first of all, I thought it was more than twice, but go on.
Sorry?
I thought he slapped back more than twice.
It's possible. Like, I don't know. Maybe it's twice, right? Like, maybe it's more. I don't know. Like, I'm just going off of what we're seeing, right? Like, if you're defending that, like, I think you really got to look at yourself in the fucking mirror and be like, no, this was not right. And the fact that how deafening it is online, in the news, nobody saying shit is fucking frightening. It really is.
Here's the thing. It's like, especially also like ESPN. So people that are, their job is to report on sporting news. And guess what? One of the biggest drawing ratings events, and what just like events and like leagues that they have on ESPN. What is that, Aaron? What's some of like the biggest drawing, like, you know, sports UFC that they have on
and UFC, football, everything.
Like what has a business deal with ESPN? What major
Endeavor.
fighting sports league?
Endeavor, Disney. Yeah, I don't know. Like it's hilarious because it's like, hold on a second. So
there's a reason why it's not being reported, Aaron.
Oh, I know there's a reason, right? But again, like if
we're theory right there, but
if we're looking at like let's say a player did this. Let's even say a UFC fighter, right? Fuck it.
There's several UFC fighters that have done stuff like this.
Exactly, right? And this shit happens all the time, and we don't fucking talk about it. And it's like, oh, you know, it's okay. Like, I'm sorry, like it's not okay. It's really not, right? And the fucking idiots online, they're saying, oh, well, you know, she hit him, so you know we want equal rights. You know, like, no, what are you doing? Like, this is that again. It comes into that whole mentality of like Andrew Tate's toxic
masculinity takes, right? Of
it's like, what do you know? Like, I don't know what your opinions are on it, but like, I don't think it's right. You don't touch a woman, right? It is, what's the right punishment for him? I don't know. It's not my job. Not my job to figure that out. He's right.
Should he have been hit by his wife? Probably not. With that said, the way that he reacted was definitely, there's no excuse for that either. You can't really, and people are trying to justify it. I agree too. It's like, listen, like go F yourself. Like you can't, it's like, what are you trying to justify here? With that said, there's a reason why it's not getting the press and the coverage that it is. Now, with that said,
it'll get buried. I honestly, I do believe it will be 100% buried. They will maybe hear about it maybe for like 2-3 weeks more, and that's it. Like, I don't think, I want to know what not scared journalists at the next press conference, we'll ask.
Ariel
Right?
Helwani.
He's banned. He can't go to those, right?
Oh, Ariel Helwani, that'll be question number one.
Like I'll give Ariel Helwani, like people give him a lot of shit, right? Because of maybe
some of it's justified. I like Ariel Helwani personally. I think
he's got some really good takes on stuff. You know, like he tries to maintain that you know, that I'm a journalist, I'm going to report on what I'm reporting, right? Yeah. Again, some people don't like it because, okay, well, he's not on my side. And it's like, oh, it's not supposed to be on your side. It's not how it works.
It's supposed to be somebody who has a fair take. Like he's trying to be.
Exactly.
He has his own biases, especially like, you know.
100%.
With Dana White now, for example. So I'm pretty sure like that would be, if that interview ever happens, which I highly doubt it will at this point. Even, and like there was even like in the history of like ESPN, the times that like Ariel Helwani briefly worked there, like when the UFC was partnered and all that. There were stories of like, oh, Dana White's coming, got to get Ariel Helwani out of the building, like and all that stuff, which is utterly ridiculous. It's
it's absolutely ridiculous, right? And at the end of the day, Dana White's the one who did it, right? Nobody else did it. You're the guy who did it. So you're going to call it ownership. You're going to say, well, I'm apologizing online. And yeah, okay, sure. How are you going to create the messaging that that's not okay? Like that's the biggest thing for me. Like what are your next steps? Because you can't just say nothing, just apologize that, hey, it was a family matter. That's it, right? That's just telling everybody else, oh, it's okay to hit your wife if she hits you one time. But yeah, don't ever ask questions, right? So
yeah, I agree with you. Like
what are your next steps for telling your employees who are your fighters, right? Like how do you make it right? Plain and simple. And
here's another question. There's fighter in the UFC does the same thing. Dana White fires him. How does that look?
Exactly. Right. Well, it's no different from a fucking job that we used to work at. Hey, you can't fucking train people on the side because you know what? Because we own your rights as a trainer. Oh, really? But I'm gonna fucking do it by myself. Oh yeah, by the way, you're fired. How about go fuck yourself? Right? Like the same stupid shit that people just don't take accountability for their full actions.
Yeah, that's what it is. I think, you know, you need to be held. People need to be held accountable. Nobody's being held accountable to shit these days, Aaron. Nobody's being held accountable to anything.
One last take before we take off for today.
Oh, one more. It's like, what are your thoughts on Andrew Tate?
Nope. And then I think is this a time that we just erase Dylan Dennis from the grappling world, MMA combat sports world? Is now the time that we have officially done it? The guy pulled out of a fucking celebrity boxing match for fuck's sakes.
Who?
Dylan Dennis.
Never heard of her.
Yeah, exactly. I think we leave it at that.
That's all I have to say.
We leave it at that.
We're gonna leave it at that.
Gentlemen, everybody, thank you so much for joining us.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you listen to this podcast, there's about 25 things I think at least that me and Aaron talked about that are probably going to get us canceled, but I hope you enjoyed it. It's maybe our last podcast.
No, but also before we leave, a couple of different things we have to kind of announce. February 19th, Ace Jiu-Jitsu Championships is back. So we're going to be up in Scarborough. We're going to have a new card. It's actually going to be a female Copa, which is going to be an awesome, maybe a first
double female,
a double Copa too.
Not just one female Copa. There's going to be two. There's going to be, I believe above, it's going to be a heavyweight Copa and a lightweight Copa.
Yeah. So above 135 and below 135. So that is going to be the first one in Canada to like this event. So boom, it's going to be huge. And then also on February 25th, we have the Sick Kids Rollathon presented by Toronto Police Department and the Toronto 5-0 Jiu-Jitsu team for the Sick Kids Hospital and their Versus campaign. So if you can, we'd love for you to donate. If you can actually join us at the Rollathon, that would be even great. The Stroking Hazard podcast is sponsoring it with Flawless Komomo, guard players, a lot of different other sponsors as well. And I'll get them all on the next podcast. So
if you guys can go, guys and girls, if you can go support that, it's, you know, one of the most important events that we can go to this year. There's all sorts of tournaments that we can go and support. There's enough tournaments around, but I think if you're gonna make an appearance at one thing this year, like make it this. So it's for Sick Kids Hospital, and Toronto Police College will be hosting it. 5-0 Jiu-Jitsu, Matt Stewart. So big shout out to him. He's doing big things for the community. So if you can't go in person, you can always we'll have a link to donate as well. And if you can go and you want to, get some rounds in and get some training in, you can pay a little. This is one of the
25 bucks. It's just 25 bucks.
25 bucks. If you want to donate more, you can. And if those who have the affordability to, I would encourage them to. But you can find 25 bucks and go roll. Even Aaron can.
Yeah, it's going to be probably the biggest open mat in Canada so early in the year. So that's how big it's going to be. We're going to fill the gym. We're going to fill probably picture a whole IBJJF field of matting that entirely filled just with open mat training.
Yeah, that's what we're looking at. And shout out to the OJ, who's officially taken up, because the last few years pre-pandemic, this was just taken on by Matt. But the OJ's really stepped up and they're backing this event as well.
Exactly. All right, everybody. Thanks so much for joining us. Hopefully we don't get canceled, and we'll see you on the next podcast. All right, guys.
And if we get canceled, we'll be in the YouTube algorithms.
Exactly. There we go.
And you won't be able to shake us.
We're never going away.
Fucking little parasite. You won't fucking go away. Get off my YouTube shorts, you stupid cunt.
Bye. See you, everybody.